everybody. I want to thank everyone for coming to this wonderful event. I see some of you have dogs with you. Some of you might be here to adopt dogs. Obviously, this is the awesome place to be to find the perfect dog for you. My goal up here is to make sure whether you have your dog already or you're about to adopt a dog, that you have the perfect dog. Now, to introduce me a little bit, my name is Bonny Wainz. I am a certified dog trainer. That is what I do full-time. I've been in business now for 11 years, and I must admit I'm very honored that they had me come and speak here. Now, of course, one of the reasons, I have an alternative motive for coming here to speak to you, because I also deal a lot with the different rescue organizations. And it gets real frustrating for me, just like for them, how so many dogs end up in rescue. And the bottom line, there's actually three major reasons why dogs end up in rescue. First of all, of course, is training, which is where I come in. Then, of course, when you have the puppy, perhaps it's not properly socializing them. And thirdly, not getting the right dog for you. I mean, you have different personalities. You have your personality, you have the dog's personality. Now notice I didn't say breed, okay? I mean, yes, there are breed traits. Every breed has different traits. In fact, right now I'm currently fostering a German Shorthair Lab mix. Now, German Shorthairs have been coined as dogs that love running through the field, an open field with the wind just whistling through their ears. So you can imagine, now this is a 4-month-old little puppy who is very what? Very, very, very hyper. Now, if you're the type of personality that can, donate about an hour and a half of your day in order to exercise this dog, well, by all means, then this dog will be for you. If you're a marathon runner, of course, this dog would love to run with you. Or if you have the ability to, take it to a field, let it run around. Taking it for a walk is okay, but for that particular dog, you'd have to walk a long, long way, okay? Now, if you're more of a laid-back type of person, well, then you, of course, would want more of a laid-back dog and not this particular dog. Now, when I talk about, breeds and I talk about different personalities, first of all, I mean, let's pick on Labrador Retrievers, because that's also one of my breeds besides little Fireball here, who is a Nova Scotia duck-tolling retriever. She's actually from Nova Scotia. But Labradors, let's say we have a whole litter of Labs. I mean, in that litter, you're going to have what? A dominant dog, a submissive dog, a wimpy dog, a team player dog. I'm still waiting for one of those, by the way. Okay? So if I look at a litter, I need to make sure that that dog is going to be the right one for me. Okay? Now, if you notice, first I'm talking about breed traits and things like that. I haven't even gotten into the training and such, because obviously you need to start with the right dog for you. And there's many, many rescue organizations here that if you do have questions, they are very willing to answer those questions for you. Now let's talk about training, okay? Because I don't care whether you get the puppy or even if you an adopted dog, or you already have the dog. Are you getting the best potential out of that dog? Now, you don't need to have a robot. I mean, nobody needs a dog who, is snapping to attention and things like that. I mean, yeah, they're fun and things like that, but you want to enjoy your dog as well. So why do we need training in the first place, okay? Well, training is a way of communicating with your dog. I mean, I could, let's face it, buy the best dog food in the world, buy the most expensive dog bed in the world. I actually had one client who had a leopard skin little dog sofa that looked better than my sofa at home, but her dog had separation anxiety. So all these things didn't really help because she was failing to communicate to this dog that it was safe in its own skin. So training, in reality, is a way of communicating. In fact, when I work with the dog, the first thing that I like to do is to train him to walk on a loose leash. Now, to me, walking on a loose leash is the nose is right here by the seam of my pants, okay? Now, once again, I mean, they don't have to be staring up at my eyes. I mean, I want them to enjoy the walk too, but I want them to check in. Now, I can teach them to, I always say, Mommy's walk or Fireball's walk, okay? Fireball's walk, she can kind of be even on a flexi, I don't care. But when I say Mommy's walk, then she has to be what? She has to be perfectly by my side. When I have a dog that walks perfectly by my side, actually 3 things happen again. First of all, in order to stay here, they have to do what? They have to pay attention to you. Because if a dog is out here, where are its eyes? Its eyes are right here. Is it really paying attention to you anymore? Not really, okay? Now some dogs learn, you know, the thumping of your feet, and that's how they kind of check in a little bit. They're listening for your feet. But most of the time, they're just kind of waiting until you just keep pulling them back. And as you keep pulling them back, then they say, oh, okay, I'll better keep. And then it gets kind of annoying. You keep nagging them and nagging them and nagging them and things like that. Not only will a dog here, when a dog has to stay here, well, who's the one that's what? In charge? You are. And trust me, this position is so important. I mean, I've been in business now for 11 years, and occasionally I will have a client that maybe I worked with them 9 years ago, and it was an aggressive case, and all of a sudden the dog snapped at somebody. Well, if I go to that person's house, because I do guarantee as long as you're following what we tell you to do, that, you know, we will come back. After all, it's obedience for life, okay? So if I go back and the first thing I do is says, let's go ahead and take this dog for a walk. 9 out of 10 times the dog is out here, okay? Instead of right here. We take a few minutes, get the dog to be back here, and all this behavior problems cease to exist. So that's one of the first things. Now, to me also it's important to get the dog to come. I mean, come command, first of all, it's not rocket science. If every single solitary time you called your dog and you make them come to you, they will always come to you. I mean, let's look at a puppy. I mean, as soon as that puppy learns that it's quicker than faster than you, what's it going to do? You're going to play these games of catch me if you can. All you got to do is come in my backyard, watch my dogs play. I actually have 3 dogs. They play catch me if you can all the day long. Give them a rope, one runs around, the other ones are chasing them, trying to catch them. So you're going to play that game too? I don't think so. Okay, initially, I mean, there's many things that you can do, and I mean, obviously, if you have specific, you know, a situation yourself, you can go ahead and see me at the booth afterwards and ask me, or even here. But even if you put a line, a leash, or something on your dog, when you give that command, come, you always make them come. And depending on the age of the puppy, you know, puppies, 90% of the time when they come to me, I'm going to give them a cookie. Older dogs, it's more of a variable form of reinforcement. Probably 60% of the time they're going to get a cookie, but they never know. But they will always get what? Good puppy. And of course, when they do come to you, I don't care if they just chewed up your $1,000, who has a $1,000 pair of shoes, but some people might, you know, pair of new shoes, don't yell at them. Because they did you a wonderful favor by honoring you and respecting you enough to come to you. And of course, you can keep practicing this, you know, in your yard and things like this to make them come. We did a contest a couple years ago with Fox 2, the most notorious canine. Believe it or not, there were 750 applicants for that contest. 65%, the simple reason was why? Because the dog would bolt and the dog would not come to them. So therefore, to me, the come command is another thing that's very, very important. The down stay, well, first of all, for a dog to do the down, they have to do what? They have to submit to you. So therefore, for me, the down is a very important command. You know, yes, we can use cookies at first and things like that, but it is very important. And some people, I've even actually had them say, well, why does your dog sit stay like this forever? Or why will your dog down stay forever like that, okay? You know, well, people aren't as nuts as me. I mean, my dogs, you know, come with me for everywhere, okay? But here's a typical example. I leave my house. Now it's true, a lot of times my dogs are off leash, but if I leave my house, I got to lock my door. Instead of my arm doing this, which is what? The dog pulling me, I'm not having a good time. I might have my briefcase, I might have my purse, I might have this, I might have this. I know you guys don't have purses, but you might be carrying something too. Okay, and your arm's all this, but what also does that with the dog? The dog's getting nervous because it's trying this, it's trying that, instead of very simply, sit, stay, I turn around, I lock my door, I go to my car, I put the dog on a sit, now I can put my purse in, put everything, go ahead and put my dog in, seat belt him in, because of course I don't want a flying projectile if I ever got in an accident, okay?